No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
This just came out the last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw it relatively early in the run. It didn't do, I think, as well box office wise as they had hoped, although it still did very well.
Yeah, I think it's still trailing the first one, but it is an all-time high for November movies in general, which is really, really good, and pushed Disney over the 3 billion mark, which is crazy. I don't know if it's timing wise is interesting because the first one came out in February of 2018. This one was supposed to come out in July, and it was pushed back to November.
Why was it pushed back? Do you know?
I think I forgot. It might have to do with the fact that they needed to introduce Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character and she came from the new Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So that was a Disney short run series. I think some events had to happen. Her character stemmed from there. So it got pushed back.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing that this will have a very long tail, right? Because you've got Thanksgiving and then you've got Christmas. And if they can keep it in the theaters through the next 2 months, just on 1 or 2 screens, they're still going to make pretty good money on those repeat watchers, on the family watching, on the holiday watching.
And they're also doing like paired watching, like a double feature. So they'll do one, you pay for 2 movies, Black Panther 1, Black Panther 2. There are also reshoots and all types of other fun things that came along with this film. We were introduced to a lot of new characters, the debut of Ironheart, so Riri Williams, and of course, Namor, our friend from the deep.
Right.
That's not the deep.
I didn't know what to expect for this. I don't know any of the Marvel backstories of anyone. So if I should have known, I didn't. They're all new characters to me. So like every Marvel movie, it's always new characters. I thought it was great. The story was much more complex than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, definitely.
I have a low bar for comic book movies. I feel like the plots usually aren't that elaborate. Like it's usually pretty straightforward. There's a good guy, there's a bad guy. They gather their eyes, they fight, the end. There's maybe a romance, but that's kind of it. But this was definitely much more complex than that. I was glad. It was almost 3 hours long. But
yes.
I didn't feel bored at any point, so that was good. The visuals were amazing.
I love the visuals. Going in, I had no idea. I just knew that Namor was going to show up. I think one thing I was discussed as I think the second trailer came out was the fact that in the comic book, he was from Atlantis. But we already have a character kind of not in the Marvel universe, but in comic book lore that's from Atlantis. That is Aquaman. And that's already been fulfilled on the DC side. I thought it was interesting that they took this character and they made him of Mayan descent and they moved it to Mexico or the Mayan civilization. But what's interesting is in the comic books, Namor has briefs. And in this, in the movie, he has shorts. And so I was reading something the other day that people are really upset that he's wearing shorts and not briefs, like a comic book character.
Well, people will always find something to be upset about, right? Like the true diehard believers, you won't be 100% ever. You'll never be able to match.
You'll never get it right.
They're expecting, right? So if that's the biggest complaint, I think they're okay.
Yeah. Yes, the story gets very complicated, and I love that Ryan Coogler is going in this direction. But it's very tricky. Like, spoiler alert, you find out that Wakanda isn't the only place that you can get vibranium. And so what does that mean? And it kind of makes sense because from a natural resources perspective, there are a lot of people say they own natural resources. Now, if vibranium is from outer space and I guess in our common knowledge now, we know that our resources come from outer space, and we know that, a meteor hit Mexico. It kind of like makes sense. It blends together. But it's, who owns this technology? And then also the awareness. So if it's now on the Kingdom of Wakanda to either expose what has been happening to people who have been trying to find vibranium, or they can keep it a secret, but then they end up being kind of the brunt of a lot of hostile feelings from their international partners. And I mean, you see this every day. And then the internal conflict of, keeping tradition on, especially when there isn't a T'Challa, and if there's going to be another Black Panther. So it's a lot of like macro to micro internal conflict that needs to be filled, prioritized. And then it's like, it's just so heartbreaking. This is such a sad movie of everything that's going on. So it's like, you're protecting people, there's a lot of loss, and there's a lot of like, how do you want to maintain tradition, but like you can't operate in the same way. I mean, it's very parallel to every day. Like, instead of picking up the phone to call somebody, you're texting, hey, happy Thanksgiving or whatever. And is that still a way of making that same connection? Maybe not. I feel like I'm gonna have to view it again. I think I saw Black Panther like twice in the movie theater, so this might be a second go for me. But I thought the story was really well done and complicated, and I feel like this phase of the MCU is just gonna get really brutal and dark.
That is definitely something that was noticeable. There were no real points of levity.
Mm-hmm.
In most of the Marvel movies, there's like some character that's consistently funny, and like they break up the tension, or a couple things happen that really break the tension. And there were a couple humorous lines, of course, but nothing really broke the tension building up to the end, which was different. I mean, it's 3 hours, so that's
Yeah.
a lot of tension.
Yeah. Yeah. And and also I felt like it was heartbreaking seeing a character that everyone loves, like it inspirational for young women, go through such a dark time, and kind of feel like, yeah, there is no kind of, that redemption arc is almost like gone. You're just like, how are you going to do this? Like, you really need some type of guidance. And the community was there. I just felt like it went a little far, especially in like the major battle. I don't know. So I was just like, oh, that's really unfortunate, but maybe that had to happen. Because Shuri is not like her brother, and the kingdom needs to figure out, what they're gonna do.
Let's go to the slides. Very high scores.
Woo-hoo.
Woohoo. The acting was great. The cinematography was great.
Mhm.
Costumes
Oh
costumes
my
were
gosh.
amazing.
Yes, I think Ruth Carter, she won an Oscar for Black Panther 2019. Oscars she won. I hope she wins again. The underwater costumes in the jade. Oh my gosh. I was like, I really want to wear the feathers. Oh,
In terms of costumes, like again, we're talking about the sponsorship with Adidas, right?
yes.
I want those athletic clothes. Like I can't pull off the dresses because I'm not built like that, but like for sure, all of her like tracksuits, I want.
Yes. The shoes. Like, it didn't even dawn on me it was Adidas until, God, it took like what, two-thirds into the movie when she was like, they made the synthetic like heart. And I was like, oh wait, those are like Adidas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I've been missing like a whole bunch of stuff before that.
Yeah, the costumes were amazing. Hair and makeup also awesome. Jewelry I thought was great because they have the different jewelry for the
Mhm.
funeral processions. They have the
Yes.
jewelry that actually communicate are communication devices or
Yeah.
things that transform into other things. Like awesome.
Yep. The vibranium bracelets. I'm wondering, like Pandora, Pandora bracelets? Can
Right.
you make the vibranium bracelets? Like, so you can communicate and Sherry's earrings, like the jade from the I was just so impressed. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah. Good job. Production quality, set, awesome. Raider's choice for sure. Story, great. We talked about that. I'm okay with it going dark. Like, I think more things should be like, why do we have to laugh all the time? Like, I mean, of course,
Jeez.
but like, let's explore the darker things. And I like that women are, fronting more movies. I like that, and they're gonna get the darker storylines too, and that's
Yeah.
great. Soundtrack was just average though.
I thought it was just okay. I think maybe for this movie, it wasn't so prominent as the first movie.
Mm,
Just because there was just so much going on. But I just thought that it was great for the film.
yeah. And I gave special effects a 3 because of the fight scenes, like when they're climbing up on the side of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
all of that underwater stuff that's happening, like awesome.
For me, I gave it a 2. I think there's a moment when it's the desert scene or like the desert island scene. There was a fight scene. I know this is just like one moment, but some of the action sequence looked a little cartoony for me. I know it's a superhero movie, but there was some movement that I was just like, this is a little too cartoony for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I just thought it was okay. It was good for Marvel what it is, but yeah, I thought it was okay.
Do you have any other thoughts or feelings about this movie?
I really enjoyed it. I think it ushers in, definitely a different, as we've said, a darker side of the MCU, and just curious to see how it's going to go from here. But overall, it's a really incredible movie. I can't wait to watch it again and really study it, especially like the fashion and the jewelry and the makeup and I really loved seeing these characters like develop in such a different way.
Definitely looking for more. Do we know when the next one is coming?
Oof. Well, the next Marvel film, I think, is in February.
Oh, what is that?
I think it's Ant-Man Quantumania. And that was the trailer that
Oh,
showed
yeah.
before watching this film. Yeah, I think that one might be the next one. But there will be another Black Panther, but I think it's like we're looking at another 4 years probably because it took
Mm.
4 years, probably because of the pandemic, to do this one. Black Panther will be featured in other films. So.
I'm sure there's probably like a TV series to stream in the works and spinoff.
What are your final thoughts?
I liked it. I definitely it's one of the top Marvel movies that I've seen. I like the story. I want to see more from those characters. So if I have to wait 4 years, I'll wait 4 years. Do you have
Hopefully
anything?
there'll be an Adidas like clothing line at that point.
I know, right? Well, I can't imagine that they're not making some of that available for the public, right? Like, how could you not?
They're not. I know Mac Cosmetics, they have a Black Panther collection that's out now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, like Adidas, come on.
Right. Come on, guys.
Pandora,
Maximize your
jewelry.
sponsorship value.
I think there's McDonald's toys. Like I think it's more geared toward mass, and not like specialty, I guess.
Mm.
Because yeah, I don't really see like movie and clothing ties.
That's true. But I mean, why not? Like,
I know it's a missed opportunity.
for sure. All right. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Lots of movies. Fall movie season is upon us. I think the menu is up amongst others that I can't name at the moment, but
So,
how about you?
Whale looks
Yes,
amazing.
definitely.
Women Talking. The cast
Yes.
for that looks incredible. The
Wait,
uh,
that's like the turn of the century one, right?
mhm. Well, it seems like a period piece, or it could be an Amish piece. I'm not sure
Oh, okay.
because, like,
Yeah.
I've just seen a very short trailer, and it was women were dressed kind of like they might be Amish, but I can't. I don't know the nuances there. So, but cast looks amazing for that. So I'm super excited about those two coming up soon. And yeah, the menu looks interesting. Bones and All looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned. We will be reviewing all of those and more. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.